Happy Palm Sunday to those who are observing today. I came home from church today. We had a multicultural, multi denominational Palm Sunday. And I hope that you all are enjoying your Palm Sunday. I came home from church and I decided that I would try to finish the remainder of the docuseries Quiet on Set, The Dark Side of Kids TV. And the title for episode 4 it is Too Close to the Sun. And it's basically talking about how Dan, the predator of the docu-series, one of them, basically he flew too close to the sun. And if you're familiar with mythology, then you know that Icarus made him some wings out of wax. He slapped some feathers on him and he tried to fly to the sun. And when he got too close to the sun, his wax melted and he fell to the ground. Well, within some religious historical discourse, they said that Icarus represents Lucifer, how Lucifer fell. He wanted to get too close to the throne of God, basically replacing him, replacing the Son of God, Christ. And in doing so, he fell to the lower dimension, and some believe the earth. What you're looking at right now, it is a still image from a television, and I had to pause my TV because I couldn't believe what my eyes were seeing. And if you look right there, you see a star, a light of sorts. You see a light, and it has all these points. And this particular scene was after Dan has severed his relationship with Nickelodeon, and Dan was a producer and the primary um, person responsible for abusing these children. Talent. And right after the scene where they sever their relationship, they show this scene. But this scene is right after another scene, this scene. Now, again, you're looking at my television right now. You are looking at my television on your screen. And I just want you to notice a few things as we go through this conversation. And let me give this disclaimer. Before you come down my row and you want to contend with me and you want to argue with me about I don't know what I'm talking about, da 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 da, and you want to go into conspiracy theories to the left or the right about the organization I'm about to discuss, just understand the following when we have that conversation. Remember and understand you're having a conversation with me from the position of me knowing. Okay. That's all I'm going to say about it. And we can go as deep with it and sick with it as you want to, but some things we can't discuss on this platform. But if you want to have that conversation and verification, then we can. That's that on that. But this is a totally different conversation that you may want to have if you're associated with, affiliated with, or member of said organization. Okay? Which is the Order of the Eastern Star. Okay? Now, what you're looking at, it is the emblem, the earliest emblem that that is associated or was associated with the organization. Back during its early days, it wasn't depicted with the altar in the middle. You see, it was shown exactly like I'm showing you. And for whatever reason, they decided to make a light out of the emblem and slide it into a docu-series about children being abused in Hollywood. Why that doesn't make sense. I does if it makes sense to you, just let me know in the comments why it makes sense. Because it doesn't make sense to me, and I would love to be educated and informed. Okay. All I'm doing, I'm sharing with you what I know and what I'm thinking. So we're looking at the emblem, and you see it. You have the blue, you have the yellow, you have the white, you have the green, and you have the red. And let's start with the first one, right? The first point of the star, part of the star, you see is blue. And then you notice one light in the middle is completely out. Then you have another light is going out. Then you look at the yellow one. The two at the end look like they're about to go out. And then the two at the end, they're very bright. And the white one, they all look pretty bright, but two look like they're about to go out as well. And then the green one, all of its light is gone. All of the lights on the green point of the star are completely out. Okay? When you look at the red star, red point of the star, you notice that only one of it is going out. And hey, for all I know, the set people decided, well, we're just gonna unscrew this one, you're gonna unscrew that one, and yeah, on the light, but it doesn't make sense. Why in the world would this light be on the show? And right after they showed this close up, because I watched it, it switched to this scene. And in that scene, if you decide to watch episode 4, you will notice that scene looked like they're in a whole darn ritual room, but nobody was in there. They were just like doing this lights out kind of fade out scene. But why in the world would they choose this emblem? And I can be honest with you, I've taken all kinds of pictures of this thing. I mean, because I couldn't wrap my head around it. And me being me, it doesn't make sense. What does this have to do with the content that we're watching on the screen about these children? It doesn't make sense. It doesn't make sense. The name of the episode, Too Close to the Sun. The sun is a type of light. The sun is a star. Okay? Why is this star in this show? And if you want to sit there and be a bald-faced liar, I ain't got no problem with that shit. And I'm not judging you for it, shit. But don't expect for me to do it with you, right? You gotta understand that I'm not able to do that with you, Suge. I can't. Now, I can do a lot of things. I can ignore a lot of things, but Suge, I can't ignore this, baby. Don't do that. We can do a lot of things, honey, but we're not gonna play that horse and pony show today. Not on my Father's Day, not on Palm Sunday. And I will tell you 1,001 times, there isn't anything such thing as a coincidence. Not when it comes to me. I don't know about nobody else, but when it comes to me, because I know for a fact what I've been on for the past several weeks now, and it come down to this day on my father being commemorated, and this the start of Holy Week. Today is Palm Sunday. We cried Hosanna. Okay. Now I come back from worship, and that's what I run up on. But what is this doing in this show? And yes, it is known to be a Christian organization. Order of the Eastern Star is known to be affiliated with Christianity, but if we must be perfectly honest, It is not a Christian organization because it doesn't explicitly say that Jesus Christ is our Lord and Savior. There isn't any proclamation or declaration in specific acknowledgement of Christ as the Messiah. So you can't be a Christian minus Christ, right? So don't. I'm begging you, do not make me go down that road on this internet and make the content. Okay? Don't do it. Don't do it to yourself. Okay? Don't. Because that's exactly how I'm going to respond. Because I'm not playing with you when we got a show on here talking about kids being abused and stuff, and this mess right here slid into it. Don't play in my face, and I won't kick you in your throat. That's all I'm saying. Because we talking about babies and we talking about kids being abused. You understand? We talking about kids being hurt and their lives being changed. So I don't play with me. Okay? All right. Because this ain't had no business on that show. You can be mad at me all you want to. You think you're gonna sit there and play dumb enough and say it was coincidence why they made it a light? Why they made it a light? Not only that, why they have it sitting. What's this? What are you looking at? What's this? Let's do it. I'm gonna just sit here. I ain't gonna say nothing. You go to the scene yourself. That's why I took a picture of the timestamp. You take your behind over there and you look at it and you tell me that that don't look like what it looked like. You want to sit there? I can't tell. I can't tell. Well, okay, I got the timestamp right there for you. It's right there, right there. And they're gonna slide this mess in here. And I'm telling you, I've been watching the whole thing and I've been thinking the whole time, and I even tried to find it. I said, now where's that episode that Oprah did when she was talking about that organization about men loving boys? And I tore the internet up and I stomped all and up and down www.coms everywhere looking for that darn episode because it was filmed in the 80s and that man was right on there and said that these networks, they're about to start launching shows on these networks deliberately targeting children because the men running the shows are into children. He talked about these movie producers, executives, music artists, and everything else on yachts, and they like children, little children, and specifically talking about little boys. Now, we have to think about it. This has to be a form of HT2 because they were moving these children all over the country with these darn programs and shows and stuff. And why are you gonna slide? You think I'm dumb enough to believe that this is about children? That's not what network associated with that. What network does that represent? Huh? Huh? Well, show me the network. Show it to me. Because that doesn't have anything neat. Nickelodeon. No, it does not. No, no, You not, let me tell you something. Do not do that to yourself because I will shake this internet and tear it down and burn it down to the ground. And I am not playing because I'm talking about children being abused and moved around, and we got plenty of them going missing, and they hide it, they hid all of those sexual innuendos all up and down and in that show and stuff. We are not doing that today. And why would this want to be associated with children being harmed and hurt in such a manner? You think post production didn't know? Ain't no, and then hung it like that. Hung it exactly like that. They ain't choose no other way for it to be hung. They hung it just like that. Now you could have turned, you could have twisted that thing all kinds of ways. And you didn't. Why? You made sure you just threw something up there and then gonna show the doors closing and this hanging high on the wall by itself and nothing there, and it's black in a cube and it's zoning out and the doors closing. Why is it there? It ain't no kids around, it ain't nothing, it ain't no toys, it ain't got nothing to do with nothing. And yes, I'm upset. I'm afraid more than anything because it is showing me how much The man was right. I was a kid watching that episode of Oprah after school. I was a kid. And I, for whatever reason, I remembered that episode. I remembered it. And over the years, I just noticed different things about people, kids going missing, and especially in recent years. As I became grown and started doing other research on other religions and things going on. And what I'm finding out, why they want kids specifically and why they violate and touch children. And it's not even about pleasure for them. It's like a succubus spirit pulling off of their youth and their vitality, destroying their soul, because it's a soulish experience. It's a spiritual experience transpiring. That's why they're doing it. That's what they're addicted to. That power, that youthfulness, because it does something for them. It fuels them, and they think it's part and necessary for their success, their financial success, their success in life. They believe that. This is why they don't stop doing it, and some of it they advise the other ones to do it. Because it's like the Christians say they said the answer and don't even realize they said the answers. They say higher levels, bigger devils. Okay, they said it and didn't realize what they were saying. They said it out of their mouths. They were proclaiming the truth out of their mouths and didn't even realize. Yeah, higher levels of success, higher levels of visibility, higher levels of access, right? And as they go higher, the depravity goes deeper and it goes lower and sicker and darker. Right? And if you think it stopped with children and your brain immediately just kind of stop and shut itself off and say it can't be no worse than children. Well, that's wrong, because if you're into history, if you go back and look at some of the images that you would find painted, in on these different vases and artifacts, within Greece and Rome specifically, where you had some of the most prolific thinkers in the entire world that influence politics and religions to this day. To this day. And you will look on their vases and on their walls and the architecture. And when you go on these tours, they have it right there. They don't even mention it. You're just sitting there looking at it and they're telling you to touch it. I'm serious. I've done these tours before. And you see images of them having same gender relationships and orally copulating each other. And some of the earliest, marital enhancement tools, if you caught what I just said, being used and being depicted. You see, these great thinkers were having relationships with children. Not only were they having relationships with children, they were also using things, these phalluses and things like that to pleasure one another as same gender relationships. They weren't using them on women, because when you look at the images of the women, the men were having sex with the women. But then when you look at where these vases and things were found, it was the places where all of these philosophers and these think groups and these little organizations, because they would be their own little factions, you see. And so they would meet together, huddle together, and they're sharing all of these ideas. And part of that process was intimacy for them to become more enlightened. Okay. And so they were intimate on a philosophical level, but they were also first and foremost spiritually intimate, to have the idea to be physically intimate in that manner, if that makes sense to you. And what this got to do, what that got, honey, if you do the research on a lot of fraternal organizations, that tout themselves that they go back to Egypt, and they say all these things, and those who have really done the research and done the studying, they know it go back even further than that. They know it. They know it. But of course, they're not going to have that conversation with you, because they don't want to it's too deep in the water. Yeah, that's way too deep in the water. even for them. They like your brain stop you with it thinking it's one thing. No, it goes deeper and darker. It goes deeper and darker with some of these beliefs to the point of incest and bestiality and all of these things. It goes deeper and it goes darker. And so these children are the first tier. And if you can if you don't know how prevalent it is and how common it is, you need to pay attention how few of them are convicted and how few of them actually receive substantial sentences. They'll get 18 months, 15 months, 2 years. That you don't see anyone get 5 years, 15 years, 18 years for what they do to children unless they actually take the child's life. That tells you within a bigger system that is readily accepted almost, but it's not said verbally. It's not expressed verbally. Okay. Um. Yeah. Why is this on here? What does this have to do with kids in this network? What does this have to do with that network? What? And don't, if you want to sit there and play crazy, well, let me go through the colors again with you, just in case so you don't think I'm playing with you. You have blue, you have yellow, you have white, you have green. That is green. If you don't believe it's green, let me show you. I got real up close. That's green, sure. That's not the same as yellow. You see how close? Let me show you. It's right across from yellow. Let me show you. You don't believe it? Look at that. It's right there. That's yellow. That's green right there, shoot. So don't sit there and try to play in my face. But again, why would this be on their documentary? Now, my brain, it's flooding with so much right now. And yeah, I know people in this organization. I have family members in this organization. Yeah, yeah, I do. And it's things that I understand and I know. Not because of them. I just put it that way. It's not because of my relatives. And it's not because of research. I just say that. If you ever want me to go into that discussion, if you ever want me to tell you what my stories, then I will tell you. Okay. Actually, I might let me go ahead and find some pictures for you, as a matter of fact. Yeah. Yeah. I can put the pictures on the screen if you want me to. Okay. Yeah. If you want me to, I can put it this way. What did it for me was when I had a girlfriend, and yeah, well, it's two of them because both of them, unfortunately, both of them are deceased now, and they both worked the same job, and I didn't work at the same job with them at that time. I had my bridal business, my bridal formal wear business, but anyway, and so um, some Fridays and Saturdays, no, it's a third one. She did too. Anyway, Thursdays and Fridays, them two would hang at a club together, or like a bar, a dive or whatever. And I would be there and something just didn't feel right when I would be there. I can't explain it, but a lot of people within the community hung out there. And I would always leave early. And one night I had this dream. And the next day, my friend called me and she said that this particular one, she was dead. They found her dead. Okay. And it didn't make sense. It didn't sound right, but I knew what I had done dreamed that night before. And the dream was confirmed when she came to the house to tell me that that girl was found dead. Exactly what I dreamt. Exactly what I dreamt. So if you want me to go into that dialogue, let me know. But it's concerning that they chose this. Now, I'm about to hop off of here because I caught myself trying to take a nap after church today because I'm tired. Um, yeah, I'm being flooded right now. And that's when I get like this, I'm overstimulated. It's too much information being downloaded at one time. It's too much. I need to go somewhere and pull out some kind of notebook and do chapters or something, so we don't get lost because it's a lot. But it got something to do with these kids because they ain't sticking on here for no reason. They didn't stick it on here for no reason. They didn't. And I noticed right after Oprah did that darn episode, I done went up and down. I done ran all around. I done been all over this internet trying to find that episode. It's gone. And he said it. I never forgot. He said it right there on our show. That episode gone. And sure enough, not long after that, I remember because I didn't like Inspector Gadget on Nickelodeon. I didn't care for it too much. But then I remembered, I said, wait a minute. Then you had that era of Ren and Stimpy and all of this stuff. Over time, it progressed. But right after that episode, just all of a sudden it exploded. Nickelodeon. It just shift, with the Rugrat era and, all of that when we go into the late 90s, right? But why? Why is this here? Let me show you the timestamp before I log off so you go see it. You go see it for yourself. 29 minutes and 59 seconds with 42 minutes and 33 seconds left. Season 1, episode 4. Can't wait to read your comments. You know it's 30 minutes, so you're gonna have to break it down. I'll talk to you soon. Bye. Something ain't right. Lord, you didn't leave me this for no reason. It's something you want me to